Good evening.
Yeah.
Good evening. Thank you for joining us. We're having a fun old time here at the Dark Side in Sarasota, Florida. I am Paul. This is Eric.
And we're happy that you're all here with us.
We're going to go through some new releases and then some not too many, I don't think really any Silver Age, maybe one or two, but a lot of it's going to be more of modern back issues, 80s, 90s, aughts.
Today.
So we're going to get through those. If this is your first time with us, click the link below, fill it out the form, and it's $9.99 flat rate shipping across the country unless you're local and you can pick it up.
Indeed.
Or pay us $9.99.
Yeah, you can just give me $10.
Yeah.
You each owe us $10, including Rose.
Yeah, I like that.
All right. Anything else before we get started?
No special announcements today.
Okay. There's no Brian with us this evening. This is a practice before he goes on vacation next week. So, when it all comes crumbling down in an hour, it's all Rose's fault.
That's fair.
No, it's mine. It's always mine.
All right. Well, let's get started. I think the only number one that I read this week is Image's Made in Korea. I very much enjoyed it. For me, reading a book, it's all like the dialogue. If it's good dialogue, it's a good conversation. It moves me right along. This book is about, it kind of implies that everybody is sterile and nobody can have children. It implies that. They haven't flat out said it yet. And so there's a company selling, robot children.
We're fine.
And it's humorous and it's also heartfelt and it could be going somewhere scary,
Okay.
but we don't know yet.
Robot children is always scary.
I mean, it's very much AI, the Spielberg Kubrick movie, but yeah,
It's indeed.
very good. It was very good. Would you like to go on to another
Yes.
number one this week?
So one of two number ones I read that weren't one shots. I read no, I actually read a few more than that. Yeah, we have The Blue Flame from Vault. I didn't actually know they did superhero books.
Every once in a while.
So this is sort of more a deconstruction kind of story is what it's looking like it's going to be. So it is this character, the Blue Flame, who was maybe not literally a Silver Age hero, but that style of character.
An analog too.
Yeah, because him and his compatriots, they have modern technology, but the writing has more of a Silver Age slant to it.
Right.
And then something happened. We're not 100% sure what, but now he's in space, and he finds aliens, and some stuff happens. This is one of those books where, I don't want to give away the premise, but it does a deep dive into his life and everything from when he was a kid to the present, which is interesting. And I quite liked it. So this was good. Now I'm not remembering who the writer was. This is Christopher Cantwell,
Yeah.
who's been doing Iron Man and Doctor Doom and a few other things for Marvel.
Yes.
And I quite enjoyed it.
He's definitely somebody to keep an eye on because I think it was his first book. I really, really liked. It was called She Can Fly.
Okay.
Is that what that was called? I forget. She Could Fly.
Yeah, she could.
She could. She could fly. And that was a really good series. And he's the one who is show running the Paper Girls TV show.
Oh, that's cool.
So, and he comes from TV. He did the AMC show about the 80s computer people.
Halt and Catch Fire.
Yeah, that's the one.
Hey.
Neat.
So he's a good choice for Paper Girls.
He also unfortunately shares a name with a noted white supremacist.
Oh yeah, bring that up.
Yeah.
He just has the exact same name, but he's a different guy.
Sure he is.
No, he actually is.
Sure he is. Moving on.
Okay.
Vader Bill number 3.
Still good?
Still good. Very good. There's really interesting dynamic that has been created with his ship, the Scuttlebutt, and it's very interesting. It's feels kind of cliche, but at the same time, Daniel Warren Johnson doesn't do cliche.
Okay,
So issue 4 is going to be something completely different.
fair enough.
Um,
I need
But-
to catch up on this one.
it's good, and his artwork is absolutely fabulous. It's like Kirby style, but like with a frenetic energy.
It was weird to me reading that first issue because, like, most of my experience with Vader Bill has been Simonson Thor,
Mm-hmm.
so it is a very different style,
Yeah.
and that's not a bad thing. It was just a little jarring going from reading Simonson Thor to this.
It's, character growth.
I quite like it though.
Next up is Shadecraft number 3. I'm still really liking this. There's, again, the artwork is still really good, and there's a bit of a twist in it. The story, they kind of jump over things like that another comic would possibly spend like 2 or 3 issues like going over and like beating into your head, and just like they're like, oh yeah, this is this, and like I'm this person, and
Mhm.
like they just go right into like, all right, we're skipping all that crap and just going into this.
Yeah, this is another book that, like, I think when the trade hits, I'm definitely gonna pick it up. 'Cause
It's
I
very
like,
good.
like the first issue.
And again, the dialogue is really good.
It doesn't talk down to its audience. If that
No,
makes sense.
no, yeah.
Yeah, I remember when I did read the first issue, the dialogue was probably the best part of it.
Yeah, it's just very light and quippy and honest dialogue, which Shadecraft has already been picked up, I think, by Netflix.
Dan, that was quick.
Somebody's making it into a show.
Real quick, kind of have to skip ahead to that alien.
Uh-huh.
Do we have other covers? Or
We
is that
do
the-
not.
We do not. Just
Um,
that.
we just have this. There was a B cover that we had 10 copies of, and
Gone.
7 of them went to subscribers and special orders, and then the other 3 were gone like in the first hour this morning.
Okay. Thank you.
All right. So next up, I know Eric is very excited about this.
Yes.
Milestone returns, DC Comics.
Yes. So, Milestone is some great stuff. I'm sure a lot of you know what it was, but for those of you that don't, Milestone was an imprint of DC created at some point in the 90s, I want to say.
Well, it was its own thing, and then DC bought it.
Okay. For some reason, I thought it started as an imprint, but I
Yeah,
believe
it was an independent company,
yes.
and then they merged with DC.
So the idea was it was primarily black writers and artists creating, characters who sort of represented them when they felt that a lot of comics didn't. And it gave us some awesome characters
Mhm.
like Static, like Hardware,
Icon,
Icon, Rocket,
Icon's awesome.
and also some other weird stuff like Cobalt. That's like a really weird book that they did.
I don't know Cobalt.
Yeah.
We should have a couple left.
One for Tiffany, one for Dalton.
Yes.
Uh,
We're closed now, so we should.
Okay.
Actually, I'll run up.
Yeah. Okay.
um,
Talk more about Milestone though.
So yeah,
Yes.
it had some awesome characters created like Static, and some of the founders were like you had Dwayne McDuffie, you had Dennis Cohen, folks like that.
I love Dwayne McDuffie. Love.
May he rest in peace.
Yeah. Has just created so many good characters and like incredible messages and things. Yeah.
He also was just, like a very funny writer sometimes.
Mhm.
Like one thing I liked is that he sometimes used humor to convey his messages, which was really good.
Sure.
But this is exciting because Milestone has been inactive for about a decade. Really, the last thing was the New 52 Static comic.
Mhm.
So now they're sort of bringing it back. There's been rumblings of this, and they've been trying to make it happen for years, but there's been a lot of snags and legal hangups because some of the executives at DC were trying to exclude the McDuffie estate from this.
Right.
But that's no longer the case. And so now Milestone is coming back. And this was a really good issue. So
Did you talk about the new Static Shock? It's coming up, live action.
Right, there's a movie, right?
I think it's a movie, and the kid is apparently the kid from Stranger Things, and he's awesome.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
But yeah, so the book itself is a reimagining of sort of the Dakota verse as it was colloquially known. and it is sort of situating Static's origins in the Black Lives Matter movement with
which I think is more appropriate than gang violence
Yeah.
today.
It definitely is more timely. And so the first phase of Milestone is going to be a 6-issue miniseries. That seems to be what they're doing for Static, for Icon and Rocket, and for Hardware. And then this still hints at Duo, which is a pair of characters that Greg Pak created. Because this is a weird comic in that it is both a new story and also I think it was like 20-page story that was distributed digitally as part of the DC Fandom event. But it's great. I really enjoyed reading it. Reginald Hudlin has all these characters' voices down really well, and I'm super excited for all of them. Like, I haven't really been reading a lot of DC stuff in a while, and this is the first thing that's made me be like, I need to read DC again.
Okay.
Ha
Good.
Number 5. Keeping it weird, keeping it odd. This time it's an old lady clown, a retired clown, a curmudgeon, and all she wants to do is make her cauliflower casserole, casserole. And this thing's getting in her way. It's a little kid breaking into her house.
I may not always like clowns, but I sympathize with this one. Poor lady just wants to make her food.
Yeah, I mean, cauliflower is too expensive, and she can cut her own cauliflower. It doesn't need to come in florets, and like she's just angry about everything. It's a little touching. It's a little depressing.
It's haha.
It's haha. It's what I've come to expect. The artwork is fantastic.
Just to jump back to Milestone real quick, one thing I forgot to mention that might attract some people. Some of the art for some of the Hardware segments is done by Dennis Cohen and Bill Sienkiewicz.
Very cool.
Because that's going to be the art team.
Hell, so.
Yeah, because that's going to be the art team for Hardware.
That's very, very
pencils
cool.
by Cohen, inks by Sienkiewicz. So if you like Bill Sienkiewicz, you get a little bit of Sienkiewicz in there. He's not the only artist because all of the art teams are in there. But yeah.
Well, I'm done with haha. You can move on to Mr. Miracle.
Yeah, this was another really good one. So this is not the Scott-free version of Mr. Miracle.
Mm-hmm.
This is Shiloh Norman, who is a more recent version of the character from, I want to say, like 2008, created by Grant Morrison. And I really like this. It's sort of the classic debate about taking on or keeping a mask on or keeping a mask off. Taking a mask off or keeping it on. And the reason, and one thing I really like is that his argument is he feels like he can be himself with the mask on, because this is a Mr. Miracle who isn't just a superhero, but also a celebrity and a black man in a society that, to quote Stan Lee, hates and fears him. And Brandon Easton, did some really good work with this one. And the art was fun too. There's definitely some tie-ins and some references to Scott-free and that stuff, and I'm very curious to see where this book continues to go.
Maybe Scott will show up.
That's possible with some of the stuff that's... Either way.
The Miracle, like, he's in things that I've read, but I've never read a Mr. Miracle story, so...
That's fair.
It's all foreign.
I really love, like, New Gods, so this is just cool.
That art's real also. Just
it's a great cover.
Striking.
Yeah.
The cover is gorgeous.
Can you actually bring it up real quick?
Yeah, absolutely.
It's almost a Christmas cover. If the green was a little darker.
And if it were December.
Hey, Christmas is year-round.
This is such a good cover.
These are really, really nice.
Because this is like how you use 3 colors in such a striking way. Sometimes complexity is nice, but I kind of enjoy the simplicity of color there.
Next up is Marjorie Finnegan, Temporal Criminal.
This looks like a Garth Ennis book without even...
It's a difficult title to say for me. It is...
Did you say temporal?
Temporal.
Mm-hmm.
Temporal. whatever mood I'm in.
Yeah, okay.
This actually came out a few weeks ago, and we just now got it. It was, for some reason, Diamond didn't send it to us, so we just got it in yesterday. Took it home and read it because I am a Garth Ennis fan.
Mm-hmm.
It's fun. It's time travel-y. The main character, she is. You really get like a Barbarella feel from her. She's just kind of like a minx, a jovial goof that like enjoys being flirty. And it's uber violent. You'd expect nothing less from Garth. It's pretty fun. I mean, there's time travel shenanigans. Yeah, there's like a German World War One German guy who takes like a machine, like a mounted machine gun to Viking times.
I kind of love
And
that.
it's just like,
That's very ridiculous.
and then
but
like
good way.
their version of like the time police like show up and like you need a it's good.
Knowing Garth Ennis, this person probably chain smokes, is profane, and hates superheroes.
They haven't delved into those characteristics yet. She likes cold pizza.
Okay. I like cold pizza sometimes.
You get along just like that.
What was that like half-hour long live action special a couple of years ago that was ridiculous? It was on. I think Hitler was there. But no, he like goes back. I sound insane, but
No, keep going. Call for help.
no, he's like, he's a ninja.
He's a ninja.
He goes back in time.
Goes back in
And
time.
he's like, what is this? And she's like, this is the Viking times. And she has like a rail gun. And he's like, oh, that explains the raptors or something like that. I'm not crazy. It's a thing.
I believe you. I just don't know.
I don't believe you, but I want to watch it.
Is like Kung Fury? Was that what it was?
That sounds right.
Oh, yeah.
You're at.
Yeah, I know
I
what you're talking
enjoyed it.
about. I watched like 5 minutes of it, and I wasn't into the visual style.
Paul,
I know what you're talking about. Next up, Alien issue number 3. We only have 2 copies left now,
Including that one.
including this one. Its story's good. You get a little more flashbacks in this. I mean, if you've been reading it, you know what to expect. If you haven't been reading it, we're sold out of issues 1 and 2. I apologize.
They were good.
Great artwork, good story. Pretty much any of the Alien comic books would be a good movie, and this is right there with them.
They should make movies out of it.
They should. So yeah, got 2 copies left. If you missed out on it, tell me about Stargirl's Spring Break special.
I love Stargirl. This is not a this is not a hidden fact. I love the JSA. I love the Seven Soldiers of Victory. I love all the weird, less loved characters, or less loved outside of comic book people characters. And this was a really good issue. It features Stargirl and Stripe, who is her stepfather and sidekick, teaming up with the Seven Soldiers of Victory, including mostly the originals, but also like Roy Harper is replaced with Emiko Queen.
Interesting.
The Lee Travis version of the Crimson Avenger is replaced by the second one, whose name escapes me, that Jeff Johns created in JSA. Trying to rescue Lee Travis from some time nonsense. They also explained like how Green Arrow was around in the Golden Age, and I kind of love that.
Okay.
Like it
That's
was very that happened. Here's how. And it was just a good story. And the last 2 pages are bittersweet because in that they tease something that has the potential to be exciting, but it implies a creative team that I hope is not the creative team.
Okay.
Otherwise, it was very good. It was a lot of fun, and it also implies that we are getting a Stargirl ongoing out of this.
Okay. Yeah. I think I'm over ongoing series. I prefer miniseries.
It's fair.
Even if it's a 12-issue series, like so that it's already like structured out. And you know, if you've got more stories to tell, just do another series.
For me, it depends, but I actually think I might be on board with that.
Yeah.
See, what I would really like is to switch from a floppy model to a graphic novel model.
Like PKO.
Yeah. I I criticized it at first, but I actually think that would be way healthier for comic books.
Yes. All right. Well, let's move on. Harley Quinn #3. Did I only read #3s this week?
Apparently.
I mean, if you've been reading the new Harley Quinn, it's the same thing. She's got her own little disciple now. She's trying to do good and be Batman's sidekick. It's fun. It's fun. The art is fun. The story is fun. What's his face? The main growing big bad guy is Doctor Strange, Hugo Strange.
Hugo Strange, yes.
Yeah.
I love Hugo Strange. He's
pretty good in this series because
Yeah.
he's reformed. You know, wink, wink, reformed.
He's a hard character to get right because like it's hard to like veer the line between like actually representing that there are some psychology professionals that are harmful
Mhm.
versus like vilifying psychology as a profession.
Right.
It's a slippery slope. But when Hugo Strange is done right, I think it walks that line quite well.
He has potential of being very, very dangerous as a foe.
Yes. Yes, indeed. That's all I got to say about that. I didn't love the variant cover. It wasn't great. It was very colorful, but not good. Tell us about Reptile.
Reptile. So this is
That's not how you spell teal.
Tony says that Rossmo art is, and then a nauseous face and then a vomiting face.
Tony. Chill
You're
out.
not wrong.
But yeah, this is a character from Avengers Academy who is
Okay.
like not a super. I'm gonna be entirely honest. I don't know why he has a mini series. And I don't mean that in like a mean way.
It's somebody probably lost a bet. Somebody at Marvel lost a bet, and they had to write a Reptile series.
So I did actually really like this issue. It wasn't my favorite because I am not super familiar with the character, but Terry Blah, who's the writer,
What's the name?
I believe it's BLAS. I think that's
Terry.
Terry.
Terrible.
Terrible, yeah.
Is it?
Terrible.
Terrible.
Is this a joke?
I know. I don't know who this
Okay.
person is. You said the name.
Terry Blah.
Yeah.
Terrible.
Terrible.
See, he's French.
Yeah. That's why it's Reptile.
But yeah, I quite enjoyed this.
Cracked it.
It's sort of about a character who feels like he's not in control of his life. He has a hard time completely controlling his powers. So his powers is that he can turn into a dinosaur. He can either like partially turn into a dinosaur, like raptors, claws, or whatever, or he can completely turn into a dinosaur. But if he does that, the animal brain sort of takes over.
So very Hulk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He has a bad temper that he's not great at controlling.
Very Hulk.
And he just feels like
This is just Dinosaur Hulk.
yeah, basically.
Okay.
The relationships in his life fall apart he's Dinosaur Hulk.
Okay.
Honestly, that sounds like an endorsement. Like
But-
dinosaur.
Yeah, but it's fun. I really liked this story. I just wish I knew more about him going into this. I
Mhm.
think that would have made me enjoy it more. But curious to see where it goes. It was a fun time, and the art's pretty fun too.
It's good. All right. How many more Heroes Reborn are there? This is issue 4. There's 7 of them.
So there's 7 Heroes Reborn, and then
Okay.
Heroes Return.
Yes. All right. I think Marvel was burning me out on these events, but this one's been good. This one's been really good.
This might be my favorite issue so far.
Yeah. I really like Dr. Spectrum. Is that his name?
Yeah.
Captain Spectrum?
Dr. Spectrum.
Okay. And he's like an amalgam of Green Lantern, Captain Marvel, 3 other people,
Nova.
He's
He's like Hal Jordan turned up to 15,
yeah,
and I really
and he's super. He's in the army.
he's not a good person.
He is not.
But he's the kind of jerk that you can enjoy as a protagonist.
Pretty sure he's racist.
Mm-hmm. He's definitely that kind of pro-America military kind of. He runs there's some real military commentary. He runs a literal black site, and he calls it that.
Mm-hmm. But Raccoon was really good in this.
Yes, he faces his greatest enemy, and it's
Groot
Rocket
gun.
Raccoon.
Yeah. Rocket has a Groot gun.
Yes.
That's awesome.
Tony approves of Heroes Reborn.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. We're like in the same boat because neither of us thought it was going to be any good, and it's really good.
I was excited for it, but I wasn't expecting much, and it's been great.
Yeah.
I still would like a little more like overarching plot to the issues, but
yeah, you're not wrong.
But I still think that what we've been getting has been fantastic.
As long as it ties together in like 6 and 7,
I think the reveal towards the end of the main story of this means 5 is when it's gonna start coming together.
Oh, and I love there's this being a different dimension, universe, whatever. Like they have a different deity that they pray to, and it's pretty awesome.
I think that's what happened.
Yeah.
I think that's why this world was why it is. That's all I'm gonna say.
I didn't read it, but now I want to know.
Let's move on because you read like the side issues too.
Yeah.
Tell us about those because I did not read those because I was sleeping.
Yeah. So first up, we got Young Squadron. This is sort of a take on both Young Justice and Teen Titans, with Kamala Khan as Girl Power, who is basically Wonder Girl. You have Miles Morales, who is Falcon, who is basically Robin, and Sam Alexander, who is Kid Spectrum, who he doesn't really have as clear an analog. But I quite enjoyed this because this is like basically what if Batman actively disliked the new Robin and tried to hunt him down, and the Robin tries to form his own super team. Also, Deadpool's in this comic, and the way he's used is really fun.
Is he just regular Deadpool?
Functionally,
Right. Pops in. Okay, bye.
I mean, he's basically just like Deadpool, but not as good a guy.
Okay.
Like he's still
early Deadpool.
No, because he's still like he has the personality of modern Deadpool, the morality of the original Deadpool.
Yeah.
And I enjoyed this. I thought it was a lot of fun. Yeah, this was probably my favorite of the 3 this week because it plays with your expectations a little bit. Next up, we have Siege Society. I couldn't quite tell if this was supposed to be Secret Six or Suicide Squad. Maybe both. I'm making a face at Rose because she said it's the same thing. So this team is Baron Zemo, Scott Lang, Black Widow, Hawkeye, Sabretooth, and Silver Witch, which is Scarlet Witch after she has absorbed Quicksilver's soul and power.
Which is a cool concept.
And this is interesting because like they do the Justice League Europe thing of like Batman starting Justice League Europe, only it's Nighthawk. And the Siege Society tries to siege their base.
Tony, which one? We're featuring 3 on that one. So yeah, there's Squadron, Society, and then the third one that Eric hasn't spoken about yet.
Oh, that's okay.
Yeah. Yeah, this one was fun. It's weird because like Nighthawk and Blur are written a little more sympathetically in this book than they are in the other books, which is interesting. I thought it was a good time. Lastly, we got Magneto and the Mutant Force, #1. This is Steve Orlando's take. It's weird because most of these are supposed to be DC stories, so I was expecting like a Doom Patrol kind of book. But this was like very clearly a take on Grant Morrison and Frank Quitely's silent issue of New X-Men with like a psychic rescue. It wasn't my favorite of the issues, but it wasn't bad. I thought it was interesting, particularly this version of Magneto and how very different he is. Also, the team, you had characters like Frenzy in this book and Sabra, who I hadn't even heard of. Sabra, okay.
It's an office thing.
And then Mr. 1 and Mr. 2, who are from a really obscure Captain America annual with Wolverine. Like I said, this book wasn't my favorite, but it was a lot of fun. Bernard Chang's art is quite good, but he maybe wasn't the right artist for this kind of story. But it it was still, an enjoyable read.
He's gonna want the copy of the one with Deadpool in it.
Okay.
Okay. Do we have more of these? I think so.
Yes.
Probably. Yeah.
Yeah. Even though it was a big comic day and we had some good sales and a lot of people came in, like it was still slowish.
Yeah.
So we still have a fair amount of books out there. Before we get to the back issues, I already forewarned you that not a lot of Silver Age stuff. It's going to be more modern stuff. So, just shall we move on to those?
Yeah, we can do that.
Just to manage your great expectations.
First up over here, we've got a still sealed copy of X-Force #1 with the trading card inside. And would you believe it? The card is a Deadpool card.
Hey.
Is that like the rarest one?
I don't know.
Okay.
But the comic and the card, they're still sealed. They're still in great shape. The spine is fine. Colors are good. The card itself is selling on eBay for $30-$40, and we've got this for $30. So it's kind of like buying the card and you get a free comic.
Mm-hmm.
And X-Force 1 is still a couple bucks.
Next up, from 2017, we've got Venom #1. Rated at an 8 for $12.
This was the run before Kate's, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Chronologically, yes. If it was directly before him, I'm not sure.
Okay.
Yes, probably.
I'm just such a sucker for people for covers interacting with the
Mhm.
title.
Yeah, that's
Love it.
like my favorite of those is an X-Men cover, but it's such a great trope.
Got a Rise of Kylo Ren #1, the action figure variant.
I love the John Tyler Christopher variants. They're so good.
They are. They're fun. So we've got that graded at a 7 for $25. And if you or anybody you know is looking for Rise of Kylo Ren #1, we've got an even better one coming up.
Yes.
Hey.
We have I think the cover, the popular one.
Oh, hey, look, X-Force #2. No trading card, but this one has Deadpool in it. Second appearance of Deadpool, graded at a 9 for $18. Great condition.
And remember, second appearances have been going up because first appearances are becoming.
Yeah, people are
Harder
getting
and harder
priced
to
out
get.
of first appearances, so I'm never gonna get a first Ghost Rider, but I got a second.
I'm never gonna get a first. I don't know, Jean Grey.
No, you're not.
I was trying to think of an X-Men character whose first appearance was not affordable for me. Storm. There, never gonna get a first Storm.
Strange Academy #2, the Art Adams variant. This one graded at a 7 for $45. That is, what's his first name? Do you know?
Spectre.
It's like he's Dormammu's son. It's like
Oh.
Daryl Dormammu or Dustin Dormammu.
Yeah, I haven't read
Right.
this, but I need to. I've heard it's really fun,
Daryl.
and it's Scotty Young doing that, right?
I think he's wrote it. Yeah. If the condition was better on this one, I would be super stoked. But we've got Avengers #684, part of the No Surrender storyline. Technically, the first Immortal Hulk.
Yep.
I have it graded at a 6 because the bottom corner was bent bad enough that it makes me sad.
Gorilla's jumping ahead, claiming B8.
Well, it's going to sit there until I get there. Tony.
Okay.
Impatient.
Hey. I don't know. If you can see the goods, you can claim the goods.
Oh, he can claim it. We're just gonna keep it there until we get there.
All right. West Coast Avengers #45.
But that's an important book.
If you don't know, then spend the money anyway. Rated at an 8, it is in very good condition for $60.
Hi, Andrew.
Andrew Louis here.
And my understanding is that this is still climbing in price because Paul Bettany wants to play the Vision forever.
That would be fun. Are they gonna like splice audio clips together after his death so he can play
Maybe.
the character in perpetuity?
Maybe. Just scan his face.
Deep fakes.
Masters of the Universe #1. Oh no, this sold already. This is a really good copy, and this is only going up in price. If you find a copy really in any condition higher than a 6, pick it up. Because this was like $25 last week.
He's gloating.
I think I'm going to fill that empty spot with an X-Men 201. First, Nathan Summers as a baby.
Yo,
And I'm guessing that's who they planned on leading them.
no.
Graded at an 8 for $15.
So if you're a cable completionist, this is his actual first appearance, no matter what anyone tells you.
Until they show him being actually born.
True.
In the pop-up version.
Oh,
Centerfold.
3D.
Ah!
that sounds unpleasant.
We got a great set here. Daredevil, Man Without Fear, the entire series for $40. Issue number 1, graded at a 9. Issue number 2, graded at a 9. Issue number 3, graded at an 8. Issue number 4, graded at a 9. Number 5, graded at a 9. All for $40. One of the greatest Daredevil stories by Frank Miller, by John Romita Jr.
Yeah. I'm of the like controversial opinion that I actually don't love a lot of Miller's Daredevil run, but this stuff I do quite like.
What's the story?
So this is a retelling of his origin, to sort of insert Elektra into his origin, because obviously,
Right.
you know, she was created by Frank Miller. So this story retells his origin to make it fit more in line with his comics. Because realistically, if you are a Daredevil person, this is when Daredevil becomes the Daredevil that most people know, Miller's run, and this sort of remolds his origins to fit. It's when you introduce characters like Stick and Stone and the Chaste and those guys.
And if you are a fan, we also have this copy of number 1. This is number 541 of 2500, autographed by John Romita Jr. right there. And this is still, I have not taken it out of its packaging because it still has the company seal sealing it. So I have not opened it. From an outside inspection, it looks like an 8 or a 9.
The Man Without Fear is Frank Miller, Tony.
$35 for the sealed, autographed John Romita Jr. signed Man Without Fear #1.
And I remember like a month or 2 ago we had one of those signed by Frank Miller that we sold out of the case.
Yeah. Yes, we did. Next up, we've got another complete series, possibly one of Marvel's best series,
Yes.
Marvels, by Alex Ross and Kurt Busiek. And these are all in excellent shape. I made a point to 9 up, 9 plus. These are all at least 9s. So you get the whole set for $40. All 4 issues, all 4 beautiful, groundbreaking issues.
Dalton's swiping the signature,
Okay.
and Tony is upset.
Well, you'll have to be faster next time there, Tony.
There we go.
Yeah, Marvel's such a good series.
Yeah, I mean, the artwork alone is worth it, but the story is fantastic. Especially that second issue with the X-Men. Like that one's heartbreaking.
Yeah, it's a really sad book, but it's also just a very good one. A lot of superhero comics don't really focus on
Emotions,
that's
reality.
no the people in the world beyond the heroes.
Yes.
And that's what I really like about Marvels. It's sort of looking at public perception and sort of how people interact with and believe in or not believe in like those characters and their motives. There's also, for anyone who's interested, there's like an audio drama version of Marvels that is quite good. It focuses on one little incident that gets talked about in one of the issues, but it's very good.
Interesting. I'm going to replace that with, oh my, this shows up like every 3 weeks because it's the highest selling comic book of all time.
X-Men.
And this is the gatefold 4-panel spread cover. And this is in excellent condition, graded a 9 for $20.
The gatefold is cool.
And lastly on the shelf, but probably best, Star Wars number 94. Every single person watching this loves Ewoks.
How smug he is.
Do you think
he just ate a stormtrooper?
I was about to ask, do you think that Ewok ate that stormtrooper?
Absolutely.
Slurped it like out of a turtle shell.
Ugh, don't ever say that again. Oh, Rose!
Doug would like that issue.
It's a whole $6.
Thank you, Doug.
Thank you, sir. Save that one for you to fill.
Yeah.
I'm gonna fill that hole with a really, really highly rated, graded out of 3, number 2 of the Avengers King Size Specials. $12, graded out of 3.
New Avengers versus the old Avengers.
If we had better cameras, you'd be able to see all the color breaks on the cover. It's in very rough shape.
These are good cameras.
$12 whole. Fill in your Avengers gaps with a $12 Avengers book.
Hey, sometimes the cheapest books are the best ones. And I think Tony just claimed that one.
Oh, the Avengers?
I don't know because he didn't say the letter.
Oh,
or the
Tony,
number.
use our system.
Come watch our show. We'll bully you.
We only disclaimer, we only bully Tony because he is a regular and we know him. We try not to do this with people we don't know. Not as much.
Yeah, B12.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, I'm going to replace that. Thank you, Tony. With Amazing Spider-Man 262
Oh,
for
the
$15.
jeans. The jeans.
The jeans.
I love this one.
Yes. Let me get that out of the way so you can see his jeans, his beautiful belt buckle. I still don't know why this guy. I mean, he's got the look, but I mean, there was a live action Peter Parker at the time.
Oh, Doug, that is
Why
not
did
a
they
power
get-
you want to give Rose.
It's posed and lit like it's like a romance novel cover.
Well, you know what
Yeah.
I just noticed for the first time after all the years of seeing this? There's a dude right there taking the picture. That's a flash from
Yep.
the camera.
Maybe he's
Honestly, it looks like he's modeling in an Abercrombie and Fitch commercial.
Joe Isaac is here.
Hey, Joe Isaac.
Good morning.
Yeah.
It feels like it should be morning.
Yeah. You want to work another 8 hours?
No.
Sure.
Yeah. Sure.
I'll be loopy by then.
Any questions before we move on?
Is that a rodeo belt buckle? That's a very
Yeah.
good question.
It looks like it. It's definitely a cowboy belt buckle.
Spider-Man would be great at a rodeo.
He would be great. He would break those 8 seconds
Mm-hmm.
like nothing.
Just
He wouldn't even. He would just right onto the horse or bull or whatever they do. Whatever animal they torture.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of rodeo.
I mean, no, not condoning rodeos at all. Just saying,
Mm-hmm.
hypothetically,
He'd
his
be effective.
fictional character would be pretty good at that.
He would be effective, yes.
What's the red Vision cover of West Coast Avengers? Is that when he's you the one? It's red.
Uh-huh.
What's special about that
I
one?
don't remember.
Okay.
First, you're teasing me about wanting to work more because I've been here since 8:30 this morning, 8:15 this morning,
Mm-hmm.
and you're asking me to remember what's significant about a book that I haven't read. I only know because I pull it here for you folks. Talk about bullies.
Yeah.
All right. Shall we move on to Eric's display? See what he's got over there.
Indeed, we shall. I will say one of these issues is very exciting for me, and I'm sure two of them. I'm sure none of you will be able to guess which ones. 3, 4. Okay.
7 of them.
Now he's getting just excited.
I didn't realize how many things I like are on this rack. First up, we have a Nova #1. I'm not sure which Nova #1 this is.
It's from like 92, I think.
Yeah, that sounds about right. We have this at an 8.5 for $10, and I do quite love this cover. And like, I think Nova has a mullet. You can't really see his hair.
I think that is a mullet, yeah.
But I think he has a mullet, which is kind of delightful. Every Nova needs a mullet.
Like spoken like a true astronomer.
Indeed. I am the person you should take scientific advice from.
Well, he's just so powerful. Like the excess power has to just like emerge somewhere. So it might as well be from the back of his scalp.
So it's like a superpower mullet. I honestly love it.
Yeah.
Rose, you're a genius.
I agree.
I'm not shocked. Next up, we have Peter Parker, the Spectacular Spider-Man #3. We have this at a 7 for $10, and this is the first appearance of Lightmaster. This is not a character I'm familiar with, but
No, nobody is.
I like this cover. You know, got some Kirby cracking going on at the edges of that energy blast, and we've got Peter Parker looking like he's about to die with how he's playing back there. Like he has to, like, the positioning of his head, he has to be about to break his neck.
I bet it'll be okay.
Yeah.
He's a big boy.
I mean, he's no Gwen Stacy.
Oh, too soon.
Did you guys actually hear Eric actually be emotionally affected by that joke?
Oh God, like that Simpsons. Like you can actually pinpoint the heart of the.
I love Gwen Stacy. Okay, I'm so sad that like Jerry Conway was like, "Let's kill Gwen Stacy."
One of many reasons why Jerry Conway's my favorite.
Because he made me sad.
Yeah.
Okay.
Personally.
I love Jerry Conway too, but
I'm gonna write him a letter. Thank you.
for me,
Yes.
I hope he responds. You have to show me if he does. Next up, we have, with one magic word, Shazam, the world's mightiest mortal. Who called me for help? Ribbit, I did. The celebrated talking frog of Blackstone Forest. I just noticed that there's a theme for the next 2 issues.
I'm sorry. Is the frog a hostage?
Yes. The frog is a hostage. This has to be the greatest comic book of all time.
Okay. Well, also at that range, the guy's gonna shoot his own hand.
Yes, absolutely. That's why this is so good. Like there's no way that this ends well for the guy with the gun. And it's just very funny. Speaking of frogs, next up we have the Mighty Thor #366, part of the Simonson run, and when Thor gets turned into Throg. He had been a frog for a few issues before this, but this is when he gets the hammer back, wielding the mighty Frogolnir. Frogolnir? Yeah. This is like legitimately probably my favorite part of the Simonson run because it's just so much fun.
Yeah, Tony's gonna take that.
Good. Tony, you have good taste. Damn, it's only $6 at a 9. That's incredible.
You want to fill in that gap?
Yeah.
Phil,
So
that. Yeah.
let's fill it in with something appropriate for my tastes. Next up, we have X-Men number 4 from the 90s at an 8.5 for $35. And this is the first appearance of Omega Red, classic 90s villain, that one.
Yeah.
So if you like your 90s X-Men, this is a perfect issue, complete with Wolverine scowling, and Gambit, charging up his cards, and Jubilee looking like an annoyed teenager.
Jubilee doing her best.
Yeah, like, Jubilee's just trying. That's all we can ask of her, right?
I'm a big Jubilee fan.
I love her.
I grew up on the cartoon, so yeah.
Same. Well, I guess I grew up on reruns of it, but
Yeah. No, mine were the good ones because I'm old.
compared to me, sure, but you're not that old. Alrighty. Next up, we've got, speaking of Wolverine scowling, we've got Wolverine number 100. It's just a wacky but good cover. This is just like wild. So this is Wolverine number 100. It's the 100th issue. It's part of an anniversary event, but I don't know much beyond that.
It's the 100th anniversary.
Gotcha.
It's hard to tell. There is a person within the hologram.
Yes.
Yes.
Wolverine is here wrapped in wires and maybe being electrocuted.
You can see a skeleton. It's fun. It's shiny. It's colorful.
And it's an Adam Kubert
No,
cover.
I can just see Eric. It makes a good mirror. if
It
you
does make
have
a good
one.
mirror. Say hi to the people.
Hello.
They still see you. Probably better. All right. You can move on to the next book.
Yeah, it's an Adam Kubert cover. That's a good one for that. Just in time for the movie, we've got The Return of Shang-Chi, Master of Kung Fu. Bleeding Black. 80 new pages of martial arts mayhem. Or 80 all new pages. We have this at a 7 for $10. And this is a cool little one-shot. Shang-Chi had been absent from the comics for a bit. So they brought him back in a big old one-shot. I think that's like 80 pages.
Yeah, it's written by Doug Monk.
I think
Monk.
it's Monk.
Gotta be somewhere in there.
Someday I'm
It's
gonna
like
find
Monk or
out.
Mowing. I like the cover though. Very kinetic. And this is a cover that has a lot going on.
Yes.
Oh, you should have put this next to the Wolverine to have the theme of 100.
Oh, I should have. Oh,
Because this is showcase number 100.
where's Marjorie Finnegan? Take me back in time.
This is showcase number 100. Awesome anniversary edition. 60 sensational superstars. In the story, it took 100 issues to tell. I'm not even going to try to name everyone on this cover. Though I actually know a surprising amount. Like I can tell you guys that's Batlash. Everyone knows Batlash, right?
Lash. Yep.
I only wear those on Halloween.
When I was grading this, the notes on this book is that it like most heroes in a single book or whatever.
That's
it's just
cool.
like, all right,
I mean, if you broaden your definition of hero,
sure.
it's like
Is that Bouncing Boy?
a Lego video game.
Challengers of the Unknown, Sea Devils, Metal Men, Phantom Stranger. God, I love this cover. Just so many great characters that
Is
don't
that the
always...
creep right up front?
Yeah, it's the Creeper. A lot of great characters that don't always get a lot of love, so I enjoy this cover a great deal. Like, that's Rick Starr, Space Ranger. He doesn't get a lot of love.
No, he doesn't.
Like, the one time Kurt Busiek made him show up, it was actually Martian Manhunter in disguise. Speaking of things I love, this is the first appearance of an X-Men character who does not always get his due.
Ooh, is this the one I think it is?
Next up, we have the
Yes.
Uncanny XMen number 345, the first appearance of Maggot. Maggot is a character.
Show favorite.
Yeah, Maggot is a character whose power is that his body produces maggots that are a part of his body. Is the best way to
I pulled it just for you.
Yeah, I love that. I love Maggot. Vita Ayala had Maggot show up as one of the X-Men in the first issue of Children of the Atom, and I legitimately don't think I have been that excited to see a character in a while.
I just love a book where you can tell they were hitting a deadline. Oh god, we need to.
Or they just couldn't come up with a name. But God, I love Maggot so much. Thank you for this gift, Paul.
You're welcome.
Of showing Maggot off to the world.
Is he a
Mhm.
Morlock?
That sounds right.
I think so.
He's hanging out in Krakoa right now.
Who isn't?
Uh,
It's
Humans.
the hip place to be.
Pete Wisdom hates Krakoa. But Pete Wisdom hates a lot of things. Damn. That's fair. Oh, he's a character in Excalibur who
Oh, yeah, okay.
there was some really uncomfortable stuff with the fact that like Warren Ellis aged up Kitty Pryde to be able to date him when she was like 16 like a week before. It was Warren Ellis's run of Excalibur is deeply uncomfortable.
Well, Warren Ellis is deeply uncomfortable,
That's fair.
even though he can be a great writer.
I'll give you that for sure. Next up, we have Uncanny XMen number 156. Enter the Starjammers, despite the fact that this is not the first time they've appeared.
It's not, but they're just entering.
Yeah, this is the origin of Corsair. I think, if I'm not mistaken, this might be the issue where Scott Summers realizes that Corsair is his father by looking in the mirror when he hasn't shaved his face. Because he sees his face with a mustache and he's like, wait, I sure look a lot like Corsair. Chris Claremont is a great writer, but sometimes some of his plot points are just like hilarious. Probably not intended to be, but yeah, I love me some Corsair. I love me some Starjammer, so this is great.
He's so dreamy.
I appreciate the Starjammers because they're not like what actual pirates would be like in space. They're like the 70s ideal of what a space pirate would be. And they're definitely the quintessential Dave Cockrum X-Men characters, other than, Nightcrawler and Storm. It's a sad issue. Well, not really. This is Captain America number 332. Captain America, no more.
Great cover.
Wait, which side had this?
All of them. From all time. Every character should wear that.
That's just a big, I think that's just a big Dave Cockrum stylistic thing.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, other people did it too, but he's sort of the person I think of.
Yeah, take the tag off that. Let's see the whole cover of that,
He's
because
just
that's a
really
great,
bad at drawing knees and
it's a
biceps.
fantastic composition on this Captain America.
Yeah, this is.
The tattered flag.
Mhm.
This is. I forget if it's this issue or the issue before where Richard Nixon commits suicide.
Yeah.
I'm not even kidding. Like,
No, I know you're not kidding. I don't remember. I know it's part of that storyline. I just forgot that it happened.
yeah,
Tony says Corsair is Space Freddie Mercury.
that's a good way
Yeah.
of looking at him.
See, I would always pictured him as Timothy Dalton.
Oh, I like that better actually. He's like Timothy Dalton Bond, yeah. But yeah, this is a sad issue where Captain America sort of questions his identity as being American and representing America because the government that he stood behind was a lie. This is a great cover. It's a great
Take
story.
note of the Marvel corner. Look in the Marvel corner.
Yeah, Abraham Lincoln crying is
Show the people.
Abraham Lincoln crying is a very weird but powerful image here. I would say that this is probably one of the quintessential Captain America stories.
Yeah. The issue after that is the one where
He becomes Nomad.
I'm not sure how much he's in it. What's his face takes over the mantle.
Oh, John Walker?
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense. It turns out that when, the hero we all know and love becomes disgruntled, that U.S. agent would become.
Yes.
I was trying to think of who I would fan cast as Corsair.
And
But
it doesn't get better than Timothy Dalton.
I was thinking really old school, like John Aston kind of a thing. I would like that.
I love him, but no.
I don't know. Or if Groucho Marx was kind of slutty.
Kinda.
What a statement.
All of the movies are him chasing rich women.
Well then, okay, yeah, there. Groucho Marx is Corsair.
Groucho Marx is
I just
Corsair.
picture Corsair doing the Groucho Marx walk.
Oh, Tony just says Tom Selleck.
Yeah,
I
It's
think
an
we're
action
just
dude.
casting based on facial hair, though.
Yeah. I don't think Tom Selleck would be a good Corsair. He's good at like very stern hero, but I don't get a sense of fun from him. And you need to have someone.
You
who
never
He was
watched
on
Magnum
Friends.
PI.
I haven't seen Magnum PI. No.
He was great on Magnum PI.
Okay.
Tons of fun.
I'm familiar with him from other.
He was
stuff.
America's boyfriend for a reason.
Fair enough.
The inspiration for Chip or Dale.
Yeah. Well, let's rescue these Rangers and get to the next comic.
Oh no!
Speaking of quintessential
I
comics,
quit.
so speaking of quintessential comics, this is the most important comic of all time. This is Star Trek XMen. Just such a weird. Nowadays Marvel doesn't really do crossovers, but in the '90s they did a lot of weird ones.
Mm-hmm.
This is a very fun one, but a very weird one. No one else gets this one. I'm definitely going
Yeah.
to.
And this is Captain Kirk Star Trek, right?
Yes. There's also a Star Trek Next Generation comic crossover, but there's also a novel, which my friend Phoebe has and said that it's awful.
It would have to be, right?
Like she said that it's terrible and focuses on a bunch of OCs, like a bunch of OCs. Please don't steal. But yeah, we have this at an 8 for $6. I love this cover. Kirk. It looks like someone just killed his dog.
I see it.
And Cyclops just looks like Cyclops.
Yeah.
It just this cover just makes me think of that one coloring book page where Cyclops shows up and says, "I'm Cyclops, and I'm here to stop you, whatever you're doing."
It's whatever you're doing.
Sounds like Cyclops.
Yeah, I love comic Cyclops, but God, animated Cyclops is insufferable.
What a cop.
You're not wrong. And lastly, but certainly not leastly, we have Adventure Comics number 288, featuring Bizarro's secret identity. You no fool Lois and me anymore. You're very clever to disguise yourself as Clark Kent, reporter, but we know you really am Bizarro number 1. All right, Bizarro Perry, I confess. But tell me what mistake I make that give away my secret identity. He has the Bizarro number 1.
Oh, that's funny.
Also, a great Superboy adventure.
Yeah, we can do that. But maybe a little bit.
Any questions, comments, concerns? Making fun of or loving Bizarro before we move on?
Nope.
Yeah, we had some books to get through, so we'll jump back to these.
All right. Let's go over here right quick. Again, this is one. This comes up like every time I'm looking for books now. Daredevil number 254, first appearance of Typhoid Mary. This one's rated out of 7 for $12. If you're cool with that, cool. Chances are we'll find higher grades and lower grades over the course of the next few months.
I need to read Anno Senti's Daredevil. I heard it's really good.
And another one that is always going to show up, Spawn number 1. Got this one for $18, graded out of 7. Quality copy for a quality price. Now,
Quality commentary.
this is only going to go up. Once Space Jam hits, this is going to be at least $10 more.
Yeah?
Yes.
Any particular reason? Or
Because
just
it's Looney Tunes number
Okay.
1.
So since we're doing a Looney Tunes issue, I have to ask both of you, who is your favorite Looney Tunes character?
I'll have to think about that because I'm gonna put some thought into that.
Fair. Mine's Roadrunner.
Oh, okay.
Me.
I always liked Tweety Bird, but as I grew up, I realized that Bugs Bunny was just Groucho Marx. And so, all right, and here's another modern here for you. Spider-Man Legacy number 234, graded at a 9 for $20. This is the Mike McCone 1 in 10 variant. This is the first appearance of the Iron Spider, which later turns out to be dun 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 Miles' uncle that he thought was dead.
Oh, Prowler is a Iron Spider. That's awesome.
Dun dun dun.
I quite like that idea.
$20 for a key issue. Here's a little more Miles. Issue number 12. Graded at an 8 for $15, featuring the first kiss between Miles and Gwen. How adorable.
It's a very good cover.
And I like the take that they're both upside down because
Yeah.
they're spider people.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely. It works quite well.
That is a cover and a storyline that would not have been done 40 years ago.
Oh, definitely not.
Awesome.
Punisher War Journal number 1, graded at a 7 for $12.
Classic series.
Good stuff.
Who is your favorite Punisher War Journal?
The movie was actually really good.
That's good.
Harley's Little Black Book number 1. This is the Campbell sketch cover. J. Scott Campbell sketch cover.
He loves to draw a woman.
Like, I'm pretty sure this is just his doodles, and they're like, "Oh, we need a cover," and he just handed it over.
That sounds right. It is a cover,
I'm gonna
but people like
Give Wonder Woman some modesty here, and $10.
people like their J. Scott Campbell. I'll give them that, I guess.
Right, this is a good one. Incredible Hulk number 418. I've got this one copy up front, graded at a 9. It's the first appearance of Talos.
Remind me who that is.
Oh,
From the Captain Marvel.
Yeah.
The Hand of Fate.
Yes.
I thought that was Man.
Now, this is the cool thing about this. This has a cameo of Neil Gaiman's death. Yes, this death that I have right next to it.
That was on purpose, I assume.
I've got a busted copy just because this is so cool. I was looking at it. And because it's the wedding of what's his face and what's her face.
Bruce and Betty.
And then just this faceless goth chick comes up. And she's like, "Do I know you?" He's like, "Yes, blah, 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 just momentarily, blah, blah, blah." And she gives her a gift, and then she just walks away.
Oh, it's the thing where she sometimes visits people when they're on the brink of death, but not actually about to die. That's cool.
Yeah, it's unauthorized crossover. And so this is Death. The High Cost of Living number 1.
This is a very good miniseries.
Yes. Definitely one of the iconic Vertigo miniseries.
Mm-hmm.
This is the platinum version, as you can tell by the silver. $35, graded at an 8.
It's just something so pretty about that.
Yeah, that's one of the few times where I think not having the art dominate the cover actually really works.
It's very early 9 Inch Nails.
I kind of like the negative space of it.
All right. We've had a couple of these. This is a different cover. Lady Mechanica number 0, limited to 1,000 copies. This is Joe Bennett's 1 in 1. There's 1,000 copies of this made. Graded at a high 9 because this is flawless for $35.
Sweet. And Mechanica stuff's been really hot lately.
It has. And I'm thinking it's just because he signed on to work at Image. So all the future Lady Mechanica is going to be at Image.
That could be.
We got a couple fun Simpsons here. We've got Bartman number 1 at a 9. Beautiful condition for everyone's favorite, I don't know,
Teenager?
guy who should be in his 40s
He's
by now.
12.
Oh, I thought he was 13. Sorry.
No, he's 10.
I don't know. Doesn't matter anymore.
No.
God, does Simpsons have the sliding time scale too?
Yeah.
Simpsons Comics number 1. That cover looks awfully familiar. What is that, Eric?
I feel terrible that I don't remember what this is.
You should feel terrible.
Please remind me because my brain isn't working.
Fantastic Four number 1.
Oh, of course it is. I feel like a dummy.
It's okay. That is also a 9 for $15.
Bartman going to Dalton.
Oh, excellent. Number 1 song in the world.
Do the Bartman.
Do the Bartman. For like an entire summer.
Sodium, sodium,
Wow.
sodium, 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 Bartman.
All right. Instead of filling in that gap, I think we're going to go, because we're running low on time,
We are.
we're going to jump back to the main table. And we're going to start at the bottom. These are some...
I'm so excited about whatever is going to go in that first slide.
There's going to be... we had somebody cancel on us. Somebody on the show.
I haven't been allowed to see this, and I'm so mad.
Somebody, bought all these and then they didn't buy them. They said, "No, we don't want them." So now they're back. Let's go through them. Got the Fantastic Four number 18, first appearance of the Super Skrull.
And it wasn't because they didn't like these versions. They
just
additional monies on other shows.
Right. They just copped out on us.
They were new to the shopping network. They got excited.
It happens. I know that when this was on last, we had several people trying to get it. He got it first. Graded at a 2 for $100. It's been taped. It's been restapled. Or no, yes, it has been restapled. There's a little bit of pen marks on the cover. First Super Skrull for $100.
Especially, extra relevant right now that he is sort of the support guy in Guardians of the Galaxy. He's running mission control.
Fantastic Four number 20, First Molecule Man, also graded at a 2. Also features a young George R.R. Martin fan letter in the back. Those are always fun.
Yeah.
Nerd for life.
Early Kurt Busiek's letters are really funny because he's just complaining that Chris Claremont is ruining the X-Men. That's not even a joke.
Fantastic Four 65. First Ronan the Accuser. And also the first Supreme Intelligence. That is graded at a 6 for $60.
Next up, we got Fantastic Four number 72 at a 7 for $80. This is a full Silver Surfer story. This is sort of almost like the pilot episode for Silver Surfer's own ongoing. Where soars the Silver Surfer? And this cover, especially with the red Uatu in the background, is just gorgeous. I love this cover so much.
More like a rat.
I see what you did there.
Nerds.
Going back to sort of my territory, we've got X-Men number 30, or 19. I was looking at the price. X-Men number 19, the first appearance of Mimic. Mimic, who would later become the inspiration for Morph from the 90s show,
Mm-hmm.
and also who would impersonate Professor X and die of cancer to help Professor X fake his own death.
Dedication.
Yeah, we have this at a 3 for $30. There are some rips all the way through at the bottom staple, which is unfortunate. And this isn't the cleanest copy to begin with, but it's a good filler copy or a good budget copy if you are not too invested in condition. If you just want to own the first appearance of Mimic, this is a perfect book to get.
Everyone's favorite character, Mimic.
People like
We need
Mimic.
to include everyone's favorite.
Lastly, for the first row, we've got Wizard number 1 at a 6 for $30, and this is the poster variant with Spider-Man dressed up like a wizard.
Mm-hmm. Note who does the artwork on that.
Oh, it's Todd McFarlane. Of course it is.
Yes. So you got a fold-out poster in the centerfold of that image.
Image.
Ah.
That was a bad joke, and I will claim ownership of that.
Okay. I'll claim ownership of it by default.
Fair enough.
Yes, it's just really cool coming across the first Wizard magazine. Anybody my age remembers how important that book was. So much fun. Next up, we've got Ultimate Spider-Man #1. I got that graded at an 8.5 because I can't justify giving it a 9, but it's too good to just be an 8.
Classic issue.
$60 for the issue that started the entire Ultimate Universe.
Damn.
And, I mean, without the Ultimate Universe, we wouldn't have MCU.
Definitely true.
Yeah.
It's hard to believe that this was like 20 years ago.
Yeah.
As a technical adult, I was around when this launched. Technical adult.
Yeah. That short box that I have of all those garbage comics, like a lot of early Ultimate stuff.
Ultimate Spider-Man #2, also at about an 8.5 for $30. And there were 2 covers for this. This is one of him swinging and one on a car hood, and this is the car cover.
Well, see, if you like Ultimate Spider-Man, you should buy both of these issues. You know, perfect accoutrement.
This is another one that was returned to us by someone who didn't pay for it previously on the show, so you get a second chance at it.
Yes. We got X Factor #6, the first full appearance of Apocalypse, also known as Apocalypse, also known as Ensaba Nur. Rose is giving me the eye like I just killed a child.
Hopefully for new entries.
oh, damn. We have this at a 9 for $80.
Yes. Last week we had one at like a 5 for like 20, something like that.
Did we sell
I forget
it or
what-
did we still have
we
it?
sold it.
Okay.
We sell all our books.
It's a great,
We've
great
sold like 2
classic
tonight.
issue. You sold like 5.
So yeah, you want to show them that awesome.
Yeah.
If you like your Rise of Kylo Ren,
We have a Rise of Kylo Ren #1, a 1 in 25 Carmen Carnera variant at a 9 for $100. If you like your Star Wars and if you like your edgy teenage Sith Lords, this is the perfect issue for you.
isn't he like in his like 30s in that?
As far as I'm concerned, he's an edgy teenager.
Like physically, but emotionally. Or how he's written.
Yeah, he's definitely written like, you know, the teenager who locks himself in his room and listens to My Chemical Romance.
How about no C?
All
All
right.
right, what is this book?
Christian, who I don't think is watching right now, he found this book in the shop. He's been helping us out. And I was like, oh yeah, that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. And then like it dawned on me, and I was like, oh yeah, that's very cool. This is Amazing Spider-Man #4.
Damn.
First full appearance of Silk.
Sweet. Oh, I did know about this. I just didn't know that this is what you were.
For those who don't know, Amazon is making a Silk TV show that starts filming in August.
I didn't know this.
They cast her. I forget who it is. It's you know, it's a young girl. I don't know who she is. This is a 9. This is in beautiful condition, and we've got it for $220.
Very cool.
If nobody buys this tonight, Brian wasn't even sure we wanted to do this tonight because we may just get it graded. Because
He's not here.
by the time we get this back from CGC, like the show will be almost out, and people will be lining up to get it.
Definitely.
So it may show up on Saturday if nobody picks it up tonight.
It might
may or
not.
may not. That'll be up to Brian.
That's pretty cool.
It's very cool.
And I'll say with this one, just in case we do end up deciding to grade it, we are probably not going to be able to offer it once the show ends because we won't know if we're still going to have it.
Right. This is for this particular thing, because this is up to Brian. Once we end tonight, it will not be for sale until maybe Saturday if Brian says it's okay to go ahead and sell it.
Correct.
So you've got 10 minutes. What time is it?
8 minutes.
8 minutes to decide if you want to spend $220 on something that will be twice as much in a year.
Probably even more than that.
Probably.
Oh, Phil Lord and Chris Miller are executive producing.
Excellent.
So you know it's going to be good.
Just like Han Solo.
Hey,
I
they've
thought it
done
was-
good things.
I thought Han Solo was fine.
Yes, but not their version. Because they got fired.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah. That was a joke because
Oh, I see.
Rose got it.
Mm,
She pretended to anyway.
I can't show it.
All right.
Hmm.
I know not an exciting show tonight, but it's been a long couple days.
It's been a fun show, though.
That's
Oh, I
good.
had a great time.
Good.
Did you have a good time, Rose?
Yeah, I got to make fun of people.
Rose's favorite pastime.
Huh?
Is Amazing Spider-Man number 4?
Mm-hmm.
That's going to Dalton.
All right, Dalton. You're gonna thank me in a year, and Brian's gonna yell at me.
That's pretty cool. Can I read it?
Yeah. Yeah. Don't wash your hands prior to it. Yeah.
Rustle.
Have some potato chips.
Better buy it soon, Dalton.
I'll put that right next to your Bartman.
Great collection.
Well, he's not going to thank us in a year. He's thanking us now.
Man Without Fear, an Alien. That is
Very good.
eclectic.
That is fantastic. That's what I like to see in a comic collection. Variety.
With that, I'm gonna switch over, hit our other cameras real quick.
Yeah. I thought you already had.
No, I'm. I'm actually pretty glad that it's been a late show.
That's fair. I am too, honestly.
Well,
But
Some of the stuff stresses me out and gets me anxious. And today's been an anxiety-free show.
well, hopefully next Wednesday everyone's anxiety will be really high because I should have a lot of good books by then.
yeah,
Hopefully this Saturday too. I may come in on my day off and search for some Silver Age stuff.
and then we're running out of here right after the show.
Yeah, Saturday. Right after you tune in to watch us, we will be leaving to go to the whatever Suncoast Comic Convention in Palmetto
Mm-hmm.
/ Bradenton, wherever. It's all one.
Technically
It's all
Palmetto,
one
but
thing.
yeah.
Just to check it out. We're not going to have a booth this time. Maybe next year if it's looks like it's any good.
But next one though,
Next one, Tampa Bay Comic Con. Is that
yeah.
what it's called? We
Yes.
will have a booth. That is the end of July, beginning of August, that last first weekend.
I think
Mhm.
Paul and I are both doing that one, right?
Yeah.
Well,
Are you not
Rose
doing
and
that?
I are going to it.
Oh.
Rose.
Are you?
I thought Brian said I was
Okay.
going. So apparently I'm going.
Okay. Well,
Unless he changed his mind. He asked me if I wanted to go.
we will see. Although for that weekend, we may not do a live Saturday show. I think that's going to be up to Brian, and
We'll have to figure that out.
that's still 2 months away.
Yeah, but by then the show will run itself.
Yeah. We get robots.
Mm-hmm.
We get a couple Roombas to move comics around.
Yeah, I mean, that's all you need. Yosemite Sam.
Good
Oh,
choice.
That's a good choice.
I approve.
Him and Daffy.
Ooh, good ones.
I feel like I empathize with Daffy a lot.
Mm.
That tracks.
I was always disappointed that Gossamer, who was supposed to be like this big monster, was just a big ball of fluff.
What,
Being
the
like
big
a-
red guy?
Being somebody who like grew up loving monsters, and he's supposed to be the monster, and he's just like this.
Fair.
Wearing high tops?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh. Not yet. Kind of a quiet show. For a good
Yeah.
show.
Indeed.
Well, nobody died, therefore it's a good
Christian is claiming B1 and B8.
show. B1 and B8.
He got there right in, like a sniper.
Because he knows exactly what this is. Because he found it.
Yep.
Thank you.
Thank you, Christian.
Whew.
Anything else, guys?
No.
Okay. All right. Well, we'll be back and end 1 minute early.
Yeah, sure.
Well, I don't think that we can do that.
What are we gonna do?
Have a good night, everybody.
What are we
Are
gonna
we,
do?
are we leaving?
Oh, we will in a second.
Okay. I want to say goodbye.
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
And we're out.
I guess we're leaving. Everybody have a good night. Thank you for tuning in. Yeah.
See you Saturday.
Saturday morning, 11 o'clock. Comic Book Shopping Network.